I am the Green Arrow.
Welcome everybody to Get Your Geek On's Comic Edition. This is Comic Geek. We are here talking about comic books and introducing everybody into the world in case you are sitting at home doing nothing because we're all under quarantine right now. Today I have another member from Comic Call to Action. Robert, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. So tell me a little about yourself real quick. You know, I know you are also an admin for Comic Call to Action. So what else about you, man?
I'm I guess you can say an extreme fan to Green Arrow, I guess you can say. I mean, I like other comic books, but that's the comic book that I started reading when that was the first comic I ever read.
Sweet.
Was the first issue of Green Arrow.
That's freaking amazing. So
I was like, I think I was like 9 or 10, and my cousin Brian had given me a copy of issue 1, and he had known that I had been starting to read other comics and not really been having any luck finding one that I actually liked. And he had handed me that one, and I've been a fan of Green Arrow ever since. So
there you go. So obviously, everybody, this is our Green Arrow edition of it. So like, I've read a little bit about him. I actually got into him because of the CW TV show. How far does it stray from that, you think?
it strays pretty far. I mean, he does have a son, he does have a daughter, but he does not marry Felicity Smoke. He winds up marrying oh crap,
It's
Black Canary.
Yeah. Okay.
He winds up marrying Black Canary, and that winds up having that's who has his children.
Oh, okay. That is a big difference right there. So, I know in the TV show he's still a billionaire. That is still in the comics, right? Like he's still, does that origin kind of at least fit?
Well, his dad had a bunch of crooked things going on in his life. Yeah, that part was true. But the way his parents died, that wasn't the way that they did it in the comics. In the comics, his parents got killed by a lion.
Lame.
They both got killed by a lion, and that's how he got stranded on the island. I can't remember if the island was Nana Parbat, like they were, not Nana Parbat, was
Liang Yu, I think.
Lian Yu. I can't remember if it was Lian Yu or not, but unlike Batman, Green Arrow Oliver Queen actually wound up killing said lion with his father's knife.
Oh, dang.
And bow and arrow. He hunted down the lion that killed his parents.
Oh, wow. That's kind of hardcore. So,
yeah. So,
what drives you to Oliver Queen? Because I know, like you said, we have Batman, we have like Hawkeye and a few others that are not powered. But what drove you to Oliver Queen?
Just him wanting to make things right, not just for himself, but for his city.
You have failed this city.
Okay.
And he turns into a vigilante and all that, and he does in the comics. It doesn't exactly show him, but it implies it. He does actually kill people to make the city better, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Batman, in my opinion, I like Batman, but it's a lot of me on Batman. He sacrifices a lot of different things. He's gone into hiding. He's gotten killed, but he's came back. But yeah, he's literally died protecting his city.
Mm-hmm.
So just what's the word I'm thinking of on this one? The willingness to sacrifice everything he has to protect a city that he loves or something that he loves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got me to actually like it.
Okay, I mean that makes sense because I know Batman sometimes doesn't seem to be the one that would be what's the word, like laying down on the wire. He would, I don't know. I never liked him in that sense.
Exactly. He Batman to Green Arrow. It's night and day why they do it.
Yeah.
Batman wants to rid crime, but he doesn't want to do what's necessary.
Right.
Oliver Queen will do what's necessary.
That makes sense.
Even if it is to kill himself, like in Crisis, that I fucking cried. Excuse my language. I bawled twice because he died twice in it.
Oh yeah.
But Batman would not have made that sacrifice, in my opinion.
Yeah. We just
so the willingness to sacrifice even himself
makes sense.
But you mentioned Hawkeye earlier.
Yes, because I know your wife loves Hawkeye, so I thought we'd take a couple shots at him.
Yeah, one thing that Oliver Queen has on Hawkeye, Oliver Queen has been shot in the head with an arrow and still came back from the dead.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And in the comic series I'm reading, it's a more recent one. I think it came out in like 2009 or 2010.
Okay,
but there's the whole destruction of Star City and everything has already happened and everything.
Okay.
And well, he has, after the destruction, a forest grew where the part of Star City that got destroyed, big forest just grew there.
Okay.
Well, so Oliver Queen winds up confining himself to the forest and just living there. Well, one day he's a bunch of, I'm not going to give all the names away and everything.
Okay.
I really would like people to read the actual comic. It's a really good comic. It's well written. There's a group of assassins that went into the forest to attack him. Well, he took all of them out, but out of nowhere, an arrow comes flying through the trees and nails him in the forehead.
Oh.
And there's a knight. He calls himself a knight. I'm not so sure yet because I'm only on issue 6 at the moment. But he calls himself Galahad.
Okay.
He rushes him to a pool of water that apparently has reviving capabilities. It brings him back from the dead.
Ooh.
After he's been shot in the head, but he's still semi-conscious but fading.
Ooh.
It's really good.
What do you know the name of the story arc that you're reading right now?
It's called Green Arrow Brightest Day.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that came out with the whole like Green Lantern stuff. What was it? In Brightest Day and Blackest Night, right?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with the Lantern Corps. Not just one of them, but multiple ones.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, no, it's very, very well written. But that's one thing that I can say that Green Arrow does have on Hawkeye.
I don't know. I never cared to Hawkeye.
Honestly, I liked it better whenever Hawkeye became Ronin.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like Hawkeye. I liked Ronin.
Exactly. I can see that.
But whenever it comes to archers and that, I'm always going to go right back to Green Arrow.
He's one of my favorite ones from DC. Like, I'll be honest, the show got me into him, and then I started reading some of his comics. Was there be any other story arcs you would recommend for people to read that could be a good one to like see how Oliver, is?
Honestly, my honest opinion and what I would suggest for everybody if that would be interested in reading about Oliver Queen would just go back to issue 1.
Okay.
It takes you back to how everything started, and then just go on from there, and then like DC Universe, and that's actually how I found Brightest Day, is through DC Universe. DC Universe, you can go into DC Universe and you can read different comic series and just different random comics. They even have the Injustice series.
Ooh.
Both. So that's I need to get my DC Universe back.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But yeah, no. My suggestion is go back to the origin, go back to the very beginning, because you're gonna see all this other stuff. You see what the show brings, and then the newer stuff. Yeah, it's awesome, but then you don't know exactly how he got to the point where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
So my best suggestion is to go and gather more history, more of the original history of it.
Okay, that makes sense, because that way you can get the full version of him. So
yeah,
everybody has like their arch nemesis, like Batman, Joker. Who do you think is like Oliver Queen, or who do you feel is his like arch nemesis? Because I know in the show, like the first few seasons, it's all about Deathstroke. So what about in the comics? Is it Deathstroke or somebody else that's kind of like an arch nemesis for him?
He kind of has more than one. He's faced off against Deathstroke multiple times in the comics. He's in the Brightest Day. He's actually, I can't remember her name. It's somebody related to him. I just can't remember her name. But he's faced off against Captain Cold. He's not really just a one person type of guy.
Okay.
The one thing that I would have really liked to have read in the comics is something they actually did put in the series, and that was the Cicada.
Oh yeah.
Cicada, and then what was the other one? Not Merlin. Merlin is in the comics a lot. He does go up against Merlin a lot in the comics. And I guess that would be actually his main arch nemesis. Then he'd probably be Merlin.
Oh, okay. And is Merlin still with the League of Assassins in that one, or is he just his own like person?
He starts out in the League of Assassins, but like in the show, he does get excommunicated.
Oh, okay.
So he becomes what there for a little bit was dubbed Black Arrow instead of Green Arrow.
Okay.
But it's he never really got fully known as Black Arrow, but there was a lot of people calling him that back in the day whenever he was in it. But he's gone up against the Demon Head quite a bit too. But he goes to the freaking Ra's al Ghul goes up against pretty much anybody.
He really does. He doesn't discriminate. He fights everybody. He doesn't care.
He's gone up against Superman. He's gone up against he's even gone up against Joker and then hired Joker. And he just plays the fucking playing field.
He really does. Oh my gosh. And I love it. What is it? These guys work with the Joker, and then I was reading, I forgot what comic it was, but they were like, how do villains scare other villains? They tell Joker stories.
All right.
I was like, yeah, you don't want to work with him. You end up dead.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man.
But yeah, no, whenever the show came out, I mean, I instantaneously started watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I annoyed the hell out of my wife, and I probably still do, because I still watch season 1.
Oh, my favorite season still too, because I love Manu Bennett as Deathstroke. I thought he did a good job.
Oh, yeah, I like how in the Justice League movies they found the closest thing they could find to Manu Bennett.
Yeah.
played Deathstroke. I can't remember his name, but he was also in Rampage.
Oh.
Was it Rampage? Yeah. Can't remember his name. But that was literally, they tried to get as close as they could to Mano Bennett without getting Mano Bennett.
Right?
I don't think they killed Bennett.
They're like, no, we can't do this. Yeah, I met him once, and he intimidated the crap out of me when I met him. Like, this was, I think, season 2 just came out of Green Arrow, and he was in Dallas, and I was like, I got to get a picture with Manu Bennett, and he intimidated the crap out of me. I was like, yep, nope, done.
Yeah, gigantic Australian man. Yeah, he's going to intimidate the hell out of people.
Oh, hell yeah. And then I think he came, it was him. He came to San Antonio for a convention a couple years later, and he actually got arrested in San Antonio for a bar fight or like a drunken altercation or something like that. I was like, why were you dumb enough to try to fight him, whoever that was?
Yeah, that would be pretty stupid.
Exactly. I was like, no, you were a dumb man, whoever that was. So I know you've been reading a lot about him. So what's like, I know he's just an archer though, right? Like Oliver Queen, but what else does he have? Or because I know he has some like trick arrows, right? Like I know the joke one is the boxing glove arrow, but what else does he have?
I mean, he's got flashbangs. He's got explosive arrows. He's got arrows that shoot out nets. He's got arrows that shoot out other arrows.
Oh, nice.
I mean, and all of it he makes. And that's another thing that I like.
Really?
And that's another thing that's another thing that he has on Hawkeye. Hawkeye doesn't make any of his shit.
Oh, well, I didn't even know that. I thought they both made it.
No, Oliver Queen has to make his stuff because if he goes and just buys it, it can be traced.
Exactly.
So if it's not custom made by himself, then they're gonna be able to track it back to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. But I mean, he's got smoke arrows. He's got electric shock arrows. And actually, other than one thing about the series, another thing about the series that I liked, that they actually put him taking on the Flash and winning. Because he actually did that in the comics. In a similar way, just not exactly.
Really?
Yes. Can't remember the comic series, but there's a series where the Flash, like the same thing that happened in the show, the Flash, something happened to the Flash and made him go crazy, and he went basically on a killing spree.
Oh.
And Superman didn't want to kill him, didn't want to do anything. So Oliver Queen stepped up and said, I'm probably not going to kill him, but I'm going to hurt him.
Mm-hmm. I'll at least slow him down.
Yeah. But he wound up, like, whenever they go into training in the show, how he had the 2 crossbows set up, he wound up getting him in a trap that had the 2 crossbows, but the crossbows had a elephant tranquilizer, like what would overdose elephant.
Damn.
And that's how he stopped him.
Damn. Yeah. See, I remember, I believe it's called The Dark Knight Returns, where it's the one by Frank Miller, where they chopped off his arm, and he still takes Superman down with a kryptonite arrow.
Yeah.
That was like one of the most badass things I think I've seen Oliver Queen do, but that's up there with it now. I didn't know he took the Flash down too.
Yeah, he's taken him down a couple of times, actually, not including in the show.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I need to read up more on Oliver Queen.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's a general badass.
And he has a wife and kids, and I mean, hell yeah, he still kicks butt. That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So is there anything else you would like to say about Oliver Queen, or any other like comments you think that people should know about with him before we kind of wrap this up?
Off the top of my head, not really. I would like to do this again once I read some more of the comic art that I'm reading.
Oh heck yeah, we're definitely going into, man.
And I'll go into a little bit more depth about the Brightest Day. So far it's one of the best written comic books that I've read so far.
I have to check that out.
And I have a couple of the graphic novels with Green Arrow in it too. That I read multiple different things, and I probably shouldn't because I get them mixed up.
Oh, dude, I feel you. That's why, like, I try to read all these comics, and I'm like, I don't remember what I read. So I kind of fallen out. So I get you on that one. But I know, like, you're a Green Arrow guy, and again, just like everyone else, like, they can go to Comic Call to Action to kind of see and talk more comic book stuff on there as well, right? And I think your wife said that you guys have that mentoring program and all of that on that site, right?
Yes, actually we do.
Sweet. So yeah, guys, definitely, check it out. Go to Comic Call to Action, the group page, their Facebook page, check them out. And that way you can find people like Robert who are into Green Arrow, talk crap about Hawkeye since he's not the better archer. And definitely just enjoy comic books with the rest of us, and I'm glad you came on and talked to us. And definitely, I'm going to go read up more on Green Arrow too, so we could actually have a longer discussion on that, because he is one of the few characters I like. I just don't know enough on him. So now I feel like I need to go read up on him, though.
Oh, yeah. My opinion, he's one of the best ones to read up on.
Sweet. And they definitely will. And you guys out there, please definitely check out Comic Call to Action. Of course, check us out on our Facebook page at Official GYGO. And go read some Green Arrow, guys. That way you can also talk Green Arrow with us. So leave some comments down below and let us know how you feel. Again, thank you, Robert, for joining us and being here on this show with us. And hopefully until next time, we'll get you back on and get some more Green Arrow knowledge.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good one, man.
You too.